All right, back to this conversation. The South African National Taxi Council has launched a relief fund to compensate workers in the industry. The taxi industry, as you'll know, has been facing challenges since the 70% passenger capacity regulation was put in place. Operators are unhappy about the impact of the lockdown on profits, and we are joined by Bonolo Ramokgaile, who is the Treasurer General of the Black Business Council, via Skype. Bonolo, hopefully we've got a clear connection at this point. The taxi industry is key in as far as moving people and the South African economy, but obviously, like many sectors, facing the challenges of a lockdown and reduced activity. 3.5 billion rand is my understanding to be the size of the relief fund targeted at workers in that sector. What are the details that you can share with us, and how key is this intervention?
Thank you, Tulasizwe, and morning to the viewers at home. Look, as the Black Business Council, we fully support this initiative, and we think it's long overdue, because the taxi industry, unlike other industries, is the only public, form of transport that is operating currently. And the taxis are expected to carry less passengers, and yet their tires, their fuel are all being used at the original rates. And they are the only industry that is able to get essential services to work currently, meaning that they are keeping the profits of the retailers, the manufacturers, etc., intact, and yet they are the ones who are expected to carry the burden for the country. So we believe that this is a good initiative, but our understanding is that the fund is actually a target of 3.5 billion rands, which is expected to be capitalized by different stakeholders who are currently benefiting from the taxi industry. That means all your food retailers are expected to come to the party and contribute financial contributions, as well as the banks, as well as the government, which is currently benefiting from the taxi industry during this lockdown.
Yeah, but no, I mean, we're talking about coming up with, innovation and solution around this time. So, of course, fill in the gap, whether it's business, whether it's government, NGOs alike. But I often wonder if all these efforts are just for the duration of a pandemic, of a crisis, or do they go beyond that and perhaps also, try and resolve some foreseen challenges within the taxi industry?
We have engaged the leadership of Santaco, and they are actually bringing very visionary ideas that this intervention of this fund is not just for the duration of the lockdown. It has actually expedited their need and desire to formalize the industry to ensure that post the lockdown, they accelerate them registering their drivers for a fund equivalent to the UIF, so that they build up reserves. The numbers that I've seen being brandished about is that each vehicle would contribute 5 to 10 rands a day to this particular fund, so that it can be capitalized, so that they actually build up reserves for a rainy day. So their ideas and innovative ideas are not necessarily for this particular lockdown. And what they are saying is that post the lockdown, the issues of social distancing must not be compromised, and they believe that the taxi industry does not want to be the industry that brings this disease into our townships and villages. So they want to maintain social distancing protocols even after the lockdown, and hence this fund needs to be there. So that it can cushion the blow, so that the industry does not collapse.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a key conversation there about the building up a fund for a rainy day, because as we know, the formalization of the taxi sector has been beset by a number of challenges over the years. And then linked to that, how much buy-in, Bonolo, do you understand there to be between the various stakeholders that you mentioned, that the target is 3.5 billion rand to assist with payment of taxi rank marshals as well as taxi drivers due to the loss of income. And you mentioned the various stakeholders who are benefiting from the taxi industry. But is there buy-in? Have we had any signal at this point of whether they will be chipping in to build up this 3.5 billion rand?
Santaco is actually an affiliate of the Black Business Council. So the Black Business Council is fully supporting this initiative. And as a result, we have reached out to the organized retailers, such as the Consumer Goods Council of South Africa, which represents all of the major food retailers in the country. We have also engaged the Solidarity Fund. There are meetings that we are going to have with the Solidarity Fund. We've requested meetings with them. We have requested meetings with the retailers, but I'll be honest that we have not gotten a response as yet from the retailers. They've just said they've acknowledged and they are going to circulate this request amongst their members. But we do believe that they will definitely come to the party because they are currently benefiting from the taxi industry.
Absolutely, Bonolo. Thank you for that. And you point out correctly that in as much as the employees who are driving those taxis are employed by the taxi industry, actually their activities benefit a whole lot of sectors. Bonolo Ramogele there from Black Business Council joining us via Skype. It's something that you don't think about, that actually in these difficult times, the veins and arteries of the economy, as it were, the limited activity we have by way of essential services becomes the taxi industry. And therefore, when there's a call to arms to say, hey guys, we are taking a knock in terms of our earnings this side, and we need to continue to fund the earnings of the workers in this sector. Can you come out and help us out here? I wonder what the response will be from the retail sector, from government, from Solidarity Fund. But he raises an absolutely important point there.
Absolutely, even saying that, the taxis do not want to be responsible for delivering the virus to communities, to townships. I mean, I can imagine what a conscious responsibility